Hi friends. So I was sitting here this morning and I got a DM about Greek lettered organizations, right? All of them. And I'm not targeting a specific one. And someone was asking me, are they sinful or this or this? And the one thing that God told me my freshman year of college, even just before my freshman year, is I should not join one. I was not allowed to, no. And I said, okay, Lord, I'll listen. Because if God's telling me there's something wrong here, there's something wrong. But I truly did not go any deeper than that, and I kind of ignored it. But today morning, after I got that, I truly felt my spirit, let me read why they're bad. And I started reading, and it was truly like a lot. And the first thing that the Lord allowed me to see is each and every single Greek letter organization, doesn't matter what it is attached to a Greek god or I'm trying to think, Egyptian god or any other deity, whatever it is, it's attached to it. But as Christians, these are not actual gods. What we call these are principalities because they're in charge of a specific thing. This god is attached to fertility. This god is attached to farming. This god attached to safety. This god attached to water. And that's what we call a principality. It's a demon over a specific thing. And it can affect your life if you attach yourself with its altar. And I read more and more, and just the rituals attached to it, the shame rituals, the humiliation, all these things attached to these organizations. And if you're part of these organizations, I've not said a specific one because I know there's so many, but truly be careful. One of the first, another thing, not even just one of the first, the next thing God was truly showing me is, and I've talked about this on my page multiple times, multiple. The devil is very good at making something that's of God and that's very beautiful and pure and turning it into this ugly counterfeit. And the Bible tells us when we come into Christ, we're new creatures. We're born again. God basically removes us of our identity of sin and gives us this new identity and calling of a daughter and son of Christ. And we're called beautiful and we're elevated to this place where we have access to the presence of God. We're new. We're not attached to what is old. One thing about all these organizations and one thing they had in common is the hazing. They want to take away that individuality you had before you came to them. They break that off of you. Some people are forced to shave their hair. Some are forced to dress the exact same way. Some of them are forced to speak the exact same way. Some of them are forced to wear their hair the same way. All these things. Wear the same colors, whatever it is. And then when you finally become part of them, you have to act exactly like them. Do you see? Like, do you understand what I'm saying? That counterfeit where God gives us something beautiful and holy and we choose to step in, you're forced into it. You're hazed into it. That's where the devil gives you that counterfeit. And I truly sat here and I've talked a lot and I talk about spiritual things a lot on my page because like these are things God is giving me understanding into seeing. Don't join yourself with an altar that's demonic. When I tell you about principalities, if you join yourself with an altar, you're hurting yourself. One of the organizations, and I'm not going to say the name, I don't even remember the name really, one of the Greek god they're attached to is Poseidon. Who's what? In charge of water. What's that? A marine spirit. And as somebody who's truly seen marine spirits, they're dangerous. They'll kill you without a second thought. And that's the point. The Bible tells us the devil has come to steal, kill, and destroy. And the way the devil does this to us is through our ignorance. If you don't know things will kill you, you go into them. And the thing about these altars, marine spirits do a lot of things. One of those things is sexual immorality. Let's take an examination of Greek life right now as it is. I'm trying to word this the best way I can. Why, if you see most of these organizations, why do you see that sexual immorality is so rampant? Drinking, all these things, because they're attached to specific Greek gods. If you read the book of Ephesians and you kind of like go into the history, Paul basically was moving through these churches, and Ephesians was knowing Christ, and he was writing letters to them, but they were still attached to certain things from their past. Because this is in Greece, they had specific gods that they worshipped. I think one of them was Artemis. There's all these things, goddesses even. And the minute people started coming to Christ, people who sold the statues of Artemis started getting angry because they're lacking profit. People were moving away from the altar because these altars would affect their lives. When you attach yourself with something negative, it's going to affect you in ways you did not understand. If you read so many of the places in the Bible, Paul talks about sexual immorality because that's what their gods and these demonic principalities were doing. They bring things in because we attach ourselves to them. I went and started reading some of the pledge books. There are many sororities, fraternities, many. And I'm not specifically targeting one, but truly, if this is hitting your spirit, go ask God. The things they make you do. Why are there secret prayers? Why do some of the prayers focus on Jesus, but some don't? Why do they pray? Why do they I'm trying to find they pay homage to specific gods. Why? Why do they center these gods if these are Christian organizations? Having Christian values doesn't make you Christian. Saying you're Christian doesn't make you Christian. If it's not centered on Christ, it will not have Christian fruits. If these were Christian organizations, I promise you, the culture of drinking and partying and alcohol and drugs and all these things and sexual immorality would not be there. The Bible tells us your foundation will show. Whatever you're built on will show. If you've built on shaky ground, the house is going to be shaky. This is the shaky house we're looking at. Nothing built on Christ will be shaky. Sorry to put it for you like that. And I'm truly so upset because we don't understand how the devil is playing in our faces sometimes. So many young people are attached. And you'll see this in your own life. Maybe you never had sex until you got to college, you joined a sorority or fraternity. Suddenly, you're doing things you never thought you were doing. You're watching pornography, you're addicted to masturbation, all these other things that you truly never thought you would do, and you don't know why. Why am I like this? And you don't feel like yourself. Because you've attached yourself to a negative altar. The Bible tells us anyone who joins himself with a prostitute becomes a prostitute. And covenants are not just physical. Covenants are spiritual. A prayer can cause a covenant. Marriage is a covenant. That covenant is formed by two people saying, I do. Literally 30 seconds of their life, words. Do not be unwise and let the devil finish you. Because one thing the devil is in the business of is finishing young people. And I'm truly, I don't know, I felt that in my spirit. But the devil is in the business of killing young people so they cannot get to where God has for them. And I've seen that so much more in my generation, so much more in younger people, because the devil does not want you to find that freedom in Christ. If you've ever pledged to any of these altars, please, I beg you, go renounce it. Go talk to God. Tell God what you need to do to break those ties or whatever. But do not be tied to a demonic altar. Don't do it to yourself.